The talk today is A Gradual Awakening. The author of the book is Stephen Levine. I've done a précis from a thick book and taken all the ideas down to about 10 or 15 pages. And that isn't easy, but it's good. And I'm going to try to share those with you to give you a structure of what gradual awakening is. And I feel like it's the last 100-yard dash to the finish line. It's not, of course, not the finish line. We'll be working at our spiritual path for a while. But we're going to look at what it's like to be awakened and to be enlightened. And he starts the book out by giving us two definitions. One, mindfulness, and the other one, concentration practice. Mindfulness, he says, is the direct participating in each moment with as much awareness as possible. That's what we want, as much awareness as possible. And concentration practice will get us there because we will watch our breath coming and going, and our awareness becomes one-pointed and more focused. So this all works together. And so if we do this work, what happens? What can we expect? Well, it's kind of beautiful. We see, first of all, that there's no separation. And I've been waiting for that because separation is a big deal. I don't want to feel separate from anybody, and I don't want to feel separate from my spirit and from God. And when you do this practice, it helps you to let go of separateness. We get a feeling that there's only awareness, and that's great, which is something much greater than the thinking mind that we use right now. So we want to get into this greater awareness. We no longer get lost in thinking. We're not attached to thinking, so we're not blocking our awareness. Me and I become just something observed. And as awakening deepens, we experience our natural state of being. And they call it the wisdom mind. And interestingly enough, this is done by settling down and becoming just one, just doing it in a simple way. It sounds like it's difficult and you have to really fight for it, but it isn't. When we come to realize we have been blocked from our natural light by the clouds of thought and fear because of conditioned mind, we also realize that when we understand mind, we're not at its mercy any longer. And I want to give you an understanding of that today. The author says, the purpose of this book is to indicate that wisdom is available for each of us. Wisdom shines through when we do our spiritual work. Meditation helps us understand very clearly that everything is changing all the time. And we understand that nothing is permanent. Now, who was the first person to bring that out? Buddha, 100 years ago. And so this isn't new. We've got to work with this. So before we do that, I want to take you on a trip of pitfalls of the thinking mind. The thinking mind is what we use right now. And I want to tell you about the pitfalls we're in and give you some encouragement that letting that go won't be the worst thing that ever happened to us. Maybe the best. One pitfall is constant wanting. Another pitfall is judging all the time. We have an inner critic inside that makes us feel unworthy. We get conflicting moods, and I'll explain all these. Self-image, or is it the imagined self? Prattle of thought, the monkey mind. Self-acceptance, I call it loving oneself. Hindrance, Seems that we were born with all these hindrances and we have to deal with them. Difficulty giving ourselves away. These are all important. I'll go over them all with you in detail. So let's jump right in. Wanting. In this society, we are conditioned to want everything right now. Just think of this. The media, television, radio, the daily paper, society as it is, desires come and go constantly. We are always wanting to be something different or wanting something that we don't have that's not here in the here and now. And what does that do? The mind is full of thoughts that if we become identified with all these thoughts as me, then we come to believe that we are the mind. But we're not. I want to tell you about breathing practice because it's essential to this whole thing with mindfulness and how it helps. We also call it concentration practice. Just watching the breath coming in and going out, coming in, going out. That's very simple. That's the practice. But what'll happen is thoughts and sensations will come up in the background. And when they do, you just look at them and then let them go. And go back to breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And as we do this, a magic happens. Awareness concentration strengthens. There's a technique that helps us. It's called noting. To stay on track, we say, I told you, breathing in and breathing out. We can say thinking, or smelling if there's an odor, or hearing, or planning if that's what comes up in our mind, and then let them go. Feel discomfort. Say discomfort. If there's pain, relax around it and note it as pain. And really think of it as just a signal coming up from an organ going into your brain. And if you don't get all involved in the pain and you just think of it as that, it kind of gets softer. I've had personal experience doing that. And when I was having difficulties, when I was on the circuit of giving lectures and having difficulties in the middle of it and having to have some surgery right there. And I wanted to be with my friends and I wanted to be able to concentrate, but I couldn't if I was thinking of the pain. But I thought, you know what? I'm just going to look at it. It's just as an impulse. And it really works. I mean, if you have tremendous pain, of course, you have to be a master to be able to control that. What about thoughts? Well, thoughts are, think of them as mental objects. They can be seen passing like bubbles through our awareness. And Stephen has a lot to say about that and tells you about techniques that you can use to understand thoughts in that way. Intention. Have you thought about that? Intention in your mind. It helps you. You can't have activity until you have an intention. But you can dethrone activity if you're aware of intention, such as wanting. What about self-image? Is it self-image or is it the imagined self? Well, here, let me give you a description. Moment by moment, a conditioned mind is building an image of who it thinks it is. No, it is constructing from our likes and dislikes. This is a facade chosen by the mind to present itself. States of mind. Let's look at states of mind. States of mind are like an attitude, a predominant emotion. You're more familiar with just moods. Our moods change frequently. And do you know that we can have And we can experience a complete set of attitudes and emotions leave our mind and another set come in instantly. And this next state, here's the rub. The next state of mind might contain conflicting desires systems. Does this sound like a good thing? Is the thinking mind fickle and not dependable? Let's look again. I'm going to go back here. Let's look again to what we can do with what happens. We can open our minds and hearts and allow understanding to occur. Simple. Just open our minds and hearts and just allow it to be. You don't have to say anything. Just be aware. We find a great spaciousness occurs, which lets everything come and go. And this is called non-grasping. We're not holding on to anything. We're just looking at it. And it has room for everything. Holding to nothing. We can let go of all we believe we are. By letting go of thinking we are the body or the mind, brilliant or stupid, saint or fool, we awaken to the universe inside just by being. We develop a mind that's not clinging to anything. This is the path to wisdom. For example, when you let go of confusion, what happens? Knowing arises. When you let go of fear, what happens? Calmness arises. Try this. Explore what it feels like to be angry, jealous, envious, and then turn it over. What does it feel like to be generous, open, kind, and loving? See the difference? And you will, when you get into a meditative state and think about these things, you'll realize that this is where to be. The judging mind. Unfortunately, most of us have judging and giving everything a label. We seem so natural to us. But judging is not our friend. The judging mind has an opinion about everything. Judging mind oversees the process of all the thoughts and actions with a constant nagging prattle. Here's what Stephen says. A moment of stopping of the judging mind is a moment of freedom and wisdom. Ability to love and to be loved. Those are strong words. On the other hand, the more we judge others, the more forcefully we judge our own actions. So it has a comeback on us if we judge. So they put it right into the Bible because of the danger of it. Judge not, lest ye be judged. But it's kind of silly, because judging ourselves is like blaming the sky for the weather. Unworthiness, where does that come from? The person we want most to love is ourselves. Many of us carry a sense of unworthiness around like a dark cloud. Our critical inner voice is constantly judging and promoting unworthiness. Our critical mind is saying, you're not doing it right. You're not getting it right. We got to get rid of that critic out of your mind. He's not your friend. You have an enemy in the castle. Stephen Levine says, and I want you to remember this. If you did nothing but practice letting go of unworthiness, much of the stuff we're working so hard to do would have no support system. We have to get rid of that. I'll say it again. If we did nothing but practice letting go of unworthiness, much of the stuff we're working on so hard would have no support system. And we would charge ahead. Try this. See yourself through God's eyes. Self-acceptance. Well, I call this heading loving yourself. The more we accept ourselves, the more fully we experience the world. Compassion and patience from our beingness for ourselves allows negative states to come up and be seen. And this is the technique. Bring them up, look at them, and then let them go. Here's an example. When hate and greed are banished from the mind, what happens? A natural state of loving kindness is revealed. Why? Because that's our basic inner beingness. That's who we really are. Try this. Ask these questions. What does separation feel like? What does fear feel like? What does letting go feel like? These things will teach you something as you think about them. Now let's look at hindrances. These are blockages to wisdom, and we carry them around with us our whole life. What are they? There's so many. I'll just give you some. Lust, hatred, anger, fear, greed. These are all hindrances. It can stop all practices when we have doubt. That's one of the worst ones. They're not our friends. They're just qualities of mind like any other, and they can be let go of like any other. Same technique. Just bring it up to awareness. Look at it. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. Just look at it and then let it go. And it works. What about giving? The greatest gift we have to give ourselves is to give ourselves away. That's the greatest gift we have, is to be able to give ourselves away. Well, here's a secret that makes giving yourself away easier. Because it's hard to give yourself away because we're in this world trying to make ourselves comfortable and to, get our needs met and so forth. Realize whatever comes to you is a gift of spiritual grace. Get into contemplation and think of all the things you've been given with spiritual grace. The abundance, then, of the universe teaches us generosity. Wow. So let's be like the universe and be generous. Now we've gone full circle. We come back to gradually awakening. As we awaken, we notice certain qualities of mind have grown. We have more awareness of our predicament. It's a predicament that we're in. Before we were lost in the problem. Now we understand that we have a problem. Stephen says, we should practice as though we have 99 more lifetimes to complete the work on the problem, but not waste a moment. Our work matures into practice, patience. Resolution matures into devotion, and the universe slowly reveals itself. Snaring enlightenment. What is enlightenment after all? Enlightenment is the ability to be present in the present moment and yet not be attached to anything. Can we do it? That's where we want to go. You may get a gift if you do this. At a deep level, you may experience a homesickness for God, and I call that a gift. Now, I want to close this on a piece from circa 1280 AD, just to show you that hundreds of years ago, people have been grappling with these same things. And we are determined now we're going to solve it here. in this congregation, we're going to learn these things. Back in 1280 AD, it said, cease from practice based on intellectual understanding. Cease from practice based on intellectual. That's what I've been telling you here. Turn your light backward to illuminate your true self. I just told you that. Body and mind will drop away. I told you that. Your original being will be manifest. Yes. So here we are. And I've enjoyed doing this. It's been difficult to put this together and to be able to explain it in a few words. But I hope you get something from it, and I hope it stimulates you to read Stephen's book, because there's so much more detail in it that will help you get to the awakened self. Thank you for listening, and I thank you for listening. Bye-bye.